Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle. This is obviously the sequel to Kingsman, The Secret Service, probably one of the most surprising movies I've seen in recent times. A little bit about that, I'm going to spitball about that a little bit, but it was a movie that I definitely didn't see coming and definitely saw something new and fresh and creative out of this movie that I didn't expect to get at all, and it was just way too enjoyable. It was a fantastic movie. I have it. It's probably one of my favourite movies of the year, if not one of my top 3 favourite movies of that year. Obviously I wasn't doing videos at the time, so I couldn't review it or anything like that, but it's a really fun movie. I definitely recommend it. Now we move to a sequel. Now this is the same premise. This is The Kingsman, but unfortunately they get taken down by a villain named Poppy and are forced to join up with the American equivalent, The Statesman. Now basically this movie is pretty simple when it comes down to it. This movie is, you know, team up with blah 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 to defeat blah blah blah. Now they did something with the last movie that was totally new and fresh and different, and that's why everyone liked it. I don't think they quite hit the mark here. No, I'm not saying this movie is bad at all. This movie was quite enjoyable. This movie was really fun to watch, but at times it felt over the top for the sake of being over the top. I think with the first one they tried it and they really succeeded and it was something fresh and new. It was kind of different and they got it right. They hit the nail on the head. But this time I don't think they necessarily did. I think they tried to do that but didn't necessarily hit the nail on the head with this one. There was definitely a lot of fun scenes in this movie. There was definitely some great characters in this movie, but there was the over-top bit kind of overshadowed this movie in the end. I think Taron Egerton as Eggsy was phenomenal, as he was in the first one, and a lot of the side characters worked and were funny and, you know, likable, and you had a cool story going on and you didn't really know where it was going, especially with Colin Firth's character. I think he was kind of a surprise when it came to the plot of what they were trying to do with him. Whereas the other one was pretty predictable and, you know, you saw X, Y, and Z and you saw how it was happening. But did that make it bad? No. I think Julianne Moore's character plays Poppy. She is the villain, and she kind of, I'm still not sure whether that was a great portrayal or an over-the-top portrayal. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It still had the same elements as the first one did. It still had that fresh, newer kind of feel about it that we hadn't seen before, but we had seen it in Kingsman, which made it harder to enjoy the second one. Was this a bad movie? Not at all. I think this movie delivered in doing what a sequel should do, which is have a really enjoyable version of the first one. I think this was just as enjoyable as the first one. It missed a few marks. It was, you know, it took 10 baskets and made 7, whereas the other one made 9 or 10, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, guys, this is a really fun, enjoyable movie. There is some definitely fun cameos in this movie. One of the characters, I won't talk about who it is, I will. It's Elton John. He was a load of fun in this movie. He was really enjoyable. He was one of my favourite characters. He obviously plays himself, but it was a lot of fun to have him on screen. The music was a lot of fun as well, and there were some cool action scenes which they nailed on the head like they did in the first one. The action scenes were a lot of fun, different, worked really well, and some messed up stuff. I think if this one had maybe dialed down the over the top and maybe hit the mark a little bit more, you know, it could have been something really great. But I feel like this is just a fun, enjoyable movie. I'm giving it a B. Again, you know, I think it had a hard job living up to the first, but it did its best, and I don't think you should be disappointed with this movie at all. But that is it, guys. This movie is a few weeks late. As I explained in my I'm Going to LA vlog, so check that out if you haven't already. There's a lot of information about what's happening with the channel in the future. Very soon. There's a lot of fun stuff that I announced in that video, so check that out if you haven't already. You can subscribe, comment below, like, and of course, have a good one.